Hello and welcome to Live and Local Anoka. Thank you so much for joining us here today at the Anoka Fire Station. I'm your host, Seamus Burke. We've got some great guests coming up for you from the city of Anoka, as well as some great stories that we can't wait to share with you. So stay with us because Live and Local Anoka starts right now. Welcome to our series Live and Local. Today's show focuses on the city of Anoka, which is buzzing this week as the Halloween capital of the world. Our first guest this week is the new fire chief, Ted Massicati. Welcome, Chief. Thank you so much for letting us shoot in your fire station here today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Welcome to our house.
It's a pleasure to be here. First of all, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and how you came up to Anoka Champlin here?
Sure. So I've been in the fire service for a little over 26 years. I like to describe myself as the little kid that never grew up. I still get excited seeing the fire trucks going down the road. Unfortunately, I was able to turn that into a career. 96, I was hired onto Brooklyn Park Fire as a paid-on-call firefighter. Worked there for a little over 18 years. During that time, I was also hired on Maple Grove full-time as a fire inspector, continued to get my education, my degree in fire protection. And then about 4 years ago, I was hired from left City of Maple Grove, was hired on to City of Golden Valley as their deputy chief. And over those 4 years, I had some opportunities to fill in as acting chief. And when this job opened up, I saw it as an opportunity, and it felt like the right fit for me. It felt like that I was the right fit for them, working for two cities that border just south of us over the career. I'm very familiar with the area and pretty much consider myself born and raised in the northern suburbs. So.
Wonderful. Well, it's great to have you a part of our community. The partnership between Anoka and Champlin is a unique one and has a very long history. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
It does, yeah. So the Anoka Fire Department, Anoka itself, is actually one of the, if not the oldest fire departments in the state. Founded back in 1857 as the Protection Hook and Ladder Company. The Anoka Fire Department covered much of Anoka County and a larger area than just the Anoka proper. Over the years, townships began to form, cities began to form, they started their own fire departments, and back in 1985, the city of Champlin was at a point where they needed to start their own fire department. They had grown to that point. And rather than do that on their own, they saw an opportunity to create a joint venture with the city of Anoka, and they approached them and started what's known as a JPA, or a Joint Powers Agreement. So what that means is neither one city or the other controls this fire department. We're actually independent. We don't answer to one city or the other. We have a board that is made up of members from both cities, and it allows us to share the costs, reduce the costs for either one city or the other, and it's valuable to everybody to operate in this form. It is unique though when you look at the river that separates us and the fact that one city's in Hennepin County, one city's in Anoka County. It creates a lot of challenges, but everything that I was aware of and everything that kind of drew me to the job. So.
That's great. It must be cool to be part of such a really long history, like older than our state almost.
It is fascinating. The history that we have back in our archives, reading the bylaws from the 1800s and old call logs. I continue to quiz these guys all the time because I'm passionate about it and want to learn more too. It's pretty amazing.
That really is amazing. So now that we're well into fall, what kind of things should people take to keep in mind so that they don't start fires?
Well, as you know, Seamus, we're much more than just fires these days. Preventing fires is great, but this time of year, going into heating season, we really need to be thinking about all of those things that affect us from a life safety standpoint. When you think about that we're firing up furnaces, having those professionally inspected and cleaned, having your fireplaces inspected, cleaned if necessary. All of those because we face a huge hazard like carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide this time of year becomes a very big factor for us. So people should make sure they're checking their carbon monoxide detectors, making sure that they're less than 10 years old. If they're not, they need to be replaced. They actually expire and will hit a point where they just do not work. We've already had calls this year where carbon monoxide detectors have potentially saved people's lives. So people need to be cognizant of that. Also, as we go into the holiday season, You know, everybody's getting together. We like to do a lot of cooking. So we need to remember all those tips that we teach everybody all year long about cooking safety, as well as candles. Never leave candles unattended. Make sure they're around non-combustible materials, things like that.
All good to know, all smart things to keep in mind. So going with that, what can Anoka residents do to help make your job and the jobs of all the other firefighters easier?
You know, from just a practical standpoint, again, winter season, make sure we're shoveling out those fire hydrants in front of our house. Other than that, I think just being overall fire safe, thinking in terms of fire safe, and you know, the city of Anoka and the residents of Anoka have always supported the fire department and, more importantly, public safety as a whole. And I think just continuing to offer us that support and backing makes my job and all of my staff's job easier.
So are you looking for new firefighters at this time, or are you hiring?
So we like to say we're always hiring. We will accept applications year-round. Just based on the nature of a paid-on-call fire department, we're constantly seeing rotation, whether it's retirement or resignation, people's lives change. So we're constantly taking applications, and they can seek out those applications either at the City of Anoka or the City of Champlin's website under Fire Department, or they can stop by here at our Fire Station 1 and contact us during normal business hours.
Great, excellent. Well, thank you so much for stopping by today, and thank you again for letting us use your space for our shoot. Up next, we're going to introduce you to a talented team of swimmers and divers from Anoka High School, so let's take a look.
This year kind of feels more like 2019. We are more together, but still, I'd say, like, with the practices, our practices are separate for JV and varsity. So there's still like a divide between teams, and like we still have a limited amount of people in like certain places. And it's more like the people are just trying to get back together than they were from last year, where we didn't have any interaction.
It does feel a little bit more normal. Last year we were always very divided and very separate. And I didn't even get to like meet some new people last year, so I feel like I'm getting to like meet them for the very first time, so it's pretty great.
Well, we lost 7 seniors who were all section qualifiers the last couple years. And then we lost another swimmer to volleyball because she wanted to play volleyball, a good swimmer. So we have 8 pretty important spots to fill. And we have young 8th and 9th and 10th graders that are gonna step up this year, gonna have to step up to fill some spots. We saw some stepping up last night at conference relays, and we'll just have to put more pressure on them, and it's going to be fun. A young team.
When I first joined, I was just like, you know what, this is a very like hard sport, but then the people on the team really just like showed me how great it was, and I fell in love with it.
Swimming's unique because it's not like any other sport. You're in a pool. And I think a lot of people don't realize the amount of work swimming goes through. Like, we're here during the summer, we have 2 practices a day where we're 6 hours at the pool. It's just a huge fun sport, and you're always tired and hungry.
I do see a lot of new swimmers who are really just like wanting to get better, and I see that, and I'm just really excited to like where we can take them.
If we just work on each person, if each person works on themselves, our team goals happen. And we just do the best we can and work with each individual athlete, and it comes together as a team.
What makes swimming unique? It's like Jade said, it's very different because you're in the water by yourself, except you have a whole team by you. So even though like you're working to push yourself better, you're still working for your team, and that's what I like about it.
Joining us now are two people who know a lot about Anoka Halloween. We have Deb Lampert and Linda Eva Volds. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here today. How are you doing on this busy week?
Oh, crazy, crazy busy.
Good. I'm sure it's a crazy week, but a lot of fun, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So you both volunteer for Anoka Halloween many hours, as I understand. How much time do you think you put into Anoka Halloween each year?
Boy,
That's a tough year.
that's a tough one.
Because we plan year round. We meet year
Right.
round and we plan year round. So we're totally in it for the long haul, and many of
Excellent.
us have volunteered for, Deb has volunteered for 20 plus years, and I'm behind her, but in years, but anxious to catch up.
Well, excellent. That's very exciting. Can you tell us what's new with Anoka Halloween this year? I know last year had a little smaller scale event. What
right.
can we expect this year?
Well, we're back in full swing. It was very exciting to us that we could get the green light and have all 3 parades and all the activities that went with it. And this is exciting because our ambassadors, retained for 2 years because of the COVID. And so, it's a great send-off for them. And we're going to be crowning 3 new girls.
Wonderful. That's very exciting. Anoka Halloween obviously is a really big deal around here. And it has a very long history. I believe last year was the 100th anniversary, correct?
That is correct.
So can you tell us a little bit about why it's so important to the city and a little bit about the history and why we love it so much?
Yeah, I mean, as far as for me, it is about the history. It's about us coming together, what they took as, trying to find something for the kids to do without the pranks. And it's the history that really makes it special. And visiting communities are excited to hear what we do, and they get excited just as much as we do.
Excellent. Yeah, you see stuff not only on the big news stations around town, but like on the Drew Barrymore show, there was just a story about Anoka Halloween. It's a nationally renowned event. It's very cool. So Linda, tell us about the Halloween store downtown.
We love the Halloween store. I brought props
Oh,
because
wonderful.
we would love you all to visit us. Deb is going to be my Vanna White here. So here are some of the things. We sell many things. This is a button design mug that we sell. So we have those in the store. So we have traditional button design things and then fun things for you
look at
coffee and tea drinkers. And also to sport the Anoka colors as well, we have koozies. And Deb has a garden flag that just is new and in. So the store for us, for me, I spend a lot of hours, myself and a team of others run the store, and it's a bit of a clubhouse. It's where people come, committee members come to visit with one another, and it's also a place where our shoppers, our community people come, and they relive their past. They talk about stories of their favorite costume, their favorite tradition growing up, for like a special dinner that they'd eat before they'd go trick-or-treating. They talk about the snowstorm of 1991 and the Halloween button that looks like snow that we have in the store. So it's a place of great history, and we love it.
Wonderful. So going off of that, do either of you have any favorite Anoka Halloween memories or fun traditions that you carry on?
Yeah, for myself, I think just like over 40 years ago, was in the then Miss Anoka program myself. I was a contestant, or whatever you would call it, candidate. And my daughter also was a candidate to be in that program. My son won an award. So we've got a rich history of following Anoka Halloween and being a part of it. And to think that even over 40 years later, I'm still a part of it, it just warms my heart. So as far as traditions for me, no, I think marching in the parade or walking in the parade was my favorite, and Deb's got some stories too.
I would say too, as a little girl, I mean, that was my favorite time to go down and watch that parade, and to know that one day I could be a part of that and give back to Anoka, it was huge.
That's wonderful. And you know, I have never been before. I'm going on Saturday. I'm really excited. I'm really looking forward to it. Any recommendations of what I should look out for or anything like that?
Oh, well, first of all, I just want to say, where have you been all these years?
Minneapolis.
Well, we're going to recruit you. You're going to
Great.
love it. We're going to hook
Wonderful.
you in. I think anywhere you can stand or sit to watch the parade, you're just going to love it. And
Excellent.
you're going to see all the wonderful volunteers and the army of people that it takes to put on the event. But we wouldn't have it any other way, and we're very proud of it.
Great. Well, thank you so much. It's going to be a great time on Saturday. I'm really, really looking forward to it. And thank you for all the work that you've done. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
You are very welcome. It's our pleasure. Recently, there was a really fun event at the Rum River Library that involved not only the library, but Lyric Arts Theater. Billy Austin was there to bring us this story.
We haven't done a program exactly like this before. It's really unique. I think we've had some partnerships with Lyric Arts, but not anything quite like this, so we're kind of excited about it. We have programs every year. They tend to be popular and sometimes really crowded. So we took a new tactic this year and have programs for different age groups. And we can have them different days and control the number of people that way. Today we have a teen program on Zombie FX. So they're going to be working with someone from Lyric Arts Theater and using theater makeup and learning how to make themselves appear to be a zombie. And after they've got the makeup portion of the program done, they're also going to get some acting tips. They'll learn sort of the mechanics of how to walk like a zombie and do some improv just to practice what they've learned. This program is certainly the kind of thing that we want to do for our community. So it might sound like it's just a lot of fun, and we hope it is fun, but we also think this is the kind of program that helps us connect with the teens and show them a little bit more about what's available at the library. Every teen is going to get a resource guide of other resources available from the library, so from books to video games, and even some links to some videos available in one of our databases on how to apply theater makeup or how to upload your photo to Photoshop and make your digital self into a zombie. So it's just one of the many ways that we try to inspire, inform, and just help our community grow. To find out about more events at the library like this or anything different, you can go to the library's website, anokacountylibrary.org, and click on our events page. And there you'll have a calendar of things available here at Rum River and throughout Anoka County.
I chair the Heritage Preservation Commission for the City of Anoka. It's one of the advisory commissions to the council. And in the past, we have been able to fund our operations without city taxpayer dollars. And we've done that through the Home and Garden Tour, which we partnered with the Anoka County Historical Society. We haven't been doing that in the last few years, so this is an effort to raise dollars to help finance the sandwich board signs that we do, and also the program which awards businesses and private residences for upgrades to their structures, their historic structures. So there's outside of City Hall is one of the last remaining concrete made Anoka Halloween symbols. There used to be 4 of them on each corner of 2nd and Main. There's only one left. And we have duplicated that, I guess you'd call it, picture that's stamped into it. And we're putting them on different sized bricks, which people can buy. They can use them as pavers in their yards. They could use them, just as decorations in their homes. And hopefully, the program will be successful. We did a trial at Riverfest, and we had quite a few people that signed up for it, so we're pretty excited about the program. They can contact Clark Palmer at the City of Anoka. Clark is our liaison to the HPC from city staff, and they can find out what sizes we have and the cost.
Our next guest today is the city's Housing and Redevelopment Manager, Darren Berger. Darren, thank you so much for being here with us today. So we're going to talk a little bit about the city's loan programs. Tell us about some of the programs that the City of Anoka HRA offers.
Will do. So we have a few different programs, one of which being the Matching Deferred Loan Program, which is a 0% interest loan of up to $10,000. That is a one-to-one match. So if you were to borrow $10,000, you would have to match the $10,000. So it's one-to-one, but that loan is actually, the deferred part of it is actually forgiven after 30 years of living in the home. The next being our Senior Deferred Loan Program, which is also 0% interest, up to $10,000 again. That does not include a match, so that one is another one that would be forgiven after you live in the home, excuse me, in the home for 30 years. So those two are kind of our big ones for homeowners looking to do any home improvements to their home. That also includes a rehab advisor visit. So if you're looking at, some sort of home improvements and you're kind of not sure what the scope of work would be, it's a free service that we do offer through the Center for Energy and Environment that we would have a rehab advisor come out and actually go through the home with you, look at kind of what you need, what you want, and kind of come up with the scope of work. And that's actually a offer, even if you aren't getting a loan program, we do offer that to any homeowners in Anoka. So that is a kind of a lesser known thing that we do offer. The other two are our rental conversion loan program and our deferred loan program for rental conversion. And that came about, we have a very high number of rental units within the city of Anoka, and we've been looking at different ways of how we kind of get that more in balance with our single-family owner-occupied units within the city. So we came up with this program on the HRA to, if you have 2 to 4 units, so if you have a duplex or a triplex or quad or whatever, you would be eligible for up to $50,000. There is a match for one of them. The other one does not require a match, but we can talk more about that if you would get a hold of me, or call Center for Energy and Environment, and they can be reached at 612, just so I don't screw this up, 612-335-5884. So call them, just let them know you're a citizen of Anoka and you're interested in home improvement, and they can not only offer you what we have within the HRA programs, but sometimes Center for Energy and Environment has their own programs, or the state, Minnesota Housing Finance Agency offers some programs. So it's a good resource to kind of call, and they can tailor kind of where you would get the funds and what the project might look like. So I encourage everybody to call them.
Wonderful. So it sounds like you can sort of customize the loan to meet the needs of individual residents. Is that right?
That's correct. That's what we hope to do.
Great. That's a great service. Those home improvement projects can be really, really daunting.
Yeah.
And so it's good to know that the city sees value in investing in the homes.
Absolutely.
And increasing the value of some of those properties. That's wonderful. Is there any particular people you're targeting with the rental conversion loans? Obviously renters, but
yeah. So landlords that are just kind of have hit a wall with being landlords. That's kind of some people that we've been in discussions with. You might have a duplex, and we did a previous loan for the rental conversion program where a family lived in a house, and it was a big older home from Anoka, and that there's plenty of space, but they were living on the second story, and the renter was living on the main story, and they kind of said, our 2 kids are growing up, we're ready to take on the rest of the house, we'd like to kind of look at making these improvements, but it's probably going to take us 10 years, I don't know, just kind of pick away at it. And then they found out about this program, and they got it done in summer. So it really, it's a very few people that it works for, but the ones it does, it's a great program. Some landlords have hit a wall where they've just kind of had enough with the rental business. You know, and they might have a duplex where, you know, they say, you know, if we could take that kitchen out from the upstairs and, you know, take this wall out here and do a few things to actually make this into one single-family owner-occupied unit. You know, that's the goal of the program, and that's sometimes the goal of the owner. So, yeah. That's
great. Is there anything else that you can tell us about what the HRA does for the city?
Yeah, I mean, redevelopment in general, sometimes we used to do more of a scattered site replacement program where we had, and it's slowed down now in recent years because back in the downturn of the housing market, we were actually buying up more properties that are foreclosed on. We had, at times every week there'd be over 100 foreclosed homes in the city. And obviously that number has shifted quite a bit over the last 10 or 12 years. Yeah. But so we were buying up a lot of those properties that were blighted, vacant, kind of sitting there as a eyesore and a kind of attractive nuisance within the neighborhood. So we're still continuing to do that, but just on a smaller scale. You know, we are currently working on redevelopment at 7th and Main Street. There's all sorts of things we get involved with, but
excellent. Any major projects coming up other than 7th and Main?
That's kind of the big one right now, and we're working with a developer right now to try and get that up and running. So hopefully something in the next year pops there.
Anything you can tell us about what might go there, or?
Not yet. Okay. A little early, but yeah, we're getting there. We're hoping that will come out soon. So.
Excellent, great. Any last thoughts? Anything else you'd like our viewers to know about the HRA and? No,
I'd say
work?
Just again, if you have any questions or are interested in our home improvement programs, give Center for Energy and Environment a call, 612. Almost had it.
I'm terrible with phone numbers.
I almost had it. 612-335-5884.
Excellent. Well, be sure to give them a call, and it's great that the city is able to invest in its residents and its properties and continue to make Anoka a great place to live. So
I agree. Thank you.
Thank you very much for being here. And speaking of great places in Anoka, have you heard about Nucky's Nook and the 300 Club? Well, we paid both of those spots in downtown Anoka a visit. Corey Lang was there and brought us this story.
Talk of the town in Anoka is the old post office building, which houses the fine dining experience of Club 300 upstairs and Nucky's Speakeasy downstairs. Two separate experiences that can be enjoyed on a memorable night out of the town. For Nucky's Speakeasy, the process is simple. You need the password of the day. So we go down the stairs that leads to a red door, then we're greeted by the old post office entrance door. Now we wait.
Can I help you?
The password is Pony Express.
Ah, good. Can't be too careful with the FBI being around. Come on in.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, so welcome to Nucky's Speakeasy. We've gone back 100 years in time to the Roaring 20s. It's 1921 on the Atlantic City Boardwalk on the New Jersey coast, and you're at a prohibition bar called Nucky's Speakeasy. Anyway, this is Nucky's Nook, and you can see gangsters on the wall, and the place that Nucky lived at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, drove a Rolls Royce. This room is the lounge. It's a great place to lounge.
Nucky's Speakeasy is a throwback to the Prohibition era of the 1920s. Decorated with the classic 1920s decor with a gangster flair. So today we're getting the tour from co-owner and state senator Jim Abler.
Well, this is the old post office in Anoka. It was a post office from 1916 to 1977. Then it became a realty. We bought it in 1994 for the Pack Charter School. It's been so many different things, most recently an antique store. 3 floors of antiques and some office space. But you get classic, you got the bricks and you got the, you know, the 1916 style architecture and the big round windows. And it's classically useful for this now. I think compared to being a post office, I think we found the best use for it. To be a restaurant and a speakeasy. Yeah, they're classic cocktails, and they're all refreshing and delicious.
I would say my most popular drink right now, obviously because we're going into fall, is a smoked cranberry old fashioned.
Yes, please.
So we will get that started for you.
So it's a prohibition bar, based in 1921.
As Jim runs through the cocktails at Nucky's, let's talk about prohibition. So what is a prohibition bar? Well, in the 1920s, when alcohol was outlawed by federal authorities and law enforcement, underground bars, known as speakeasies, were open so patrons could enjoy their alcoholic beverages under the radar of the law. You know, obviously illegal at the time, the Prohibition era eventually ended in 1933, making it legal to consume alcohol once again. Club 300 is a Jamaican/Asian infused restaurant, and today we're chatting with head chef Rowan Brown.
So today you have we have some Thai red curry, and you have the Jamaican jerk chicken. You have to marinate your chicken with all natural Jamaican spices, and we have that grill on open flame for, I think, 45 minutes to 1 hour. My first introduction to the kitchen was my mom. The reason why I love the kitchen was my mom, and more than half of the things I know to make, it's from my mom.
For full details on Nucky's Speakeasy or Club 300, be sure to check out their websites for reservations, full menu options including appetizers and cocktails for Nucky's Speakeasy. Club 300 also has a killer menu, but I definitely recommend the jerk chicken. And for the full immersive experience, Nucky's encourages guests to dress in 1920s garb for the full Prohibition experience. Certainly not required, but hey, have some fun, go big or go home, right? You can find the old post office building at 300 East Main Street in the heart of Anoka.
Our next guest is a very busy person. Lisa Lacoste is the city's public service administrator, and she joins us right now. Thank you so much for being here, Lisa.
Thank you.
So tell us what being the Halloween capital of the world means to the city's public service departments.
It means a very busy October. We provide a lot of the backbone, I guess, to the Anoka Halloween activities and events. We do sponsor some of our own activities, but the majority of what you see in the community that's offered is provided by the Anoka Halloween Inc., which is a private nonprofit organization. So it is a separate organization from the city, but we work hand in hand to provide the majority of the activities that you see, whether it's from providing electric and water access for vendors out at the Light Up the Night parade or during the Grand Day parade, to organizing, portable toilets, garbage, those kinds of things like that, cleaning facilities, all of the stuff that needs to happen before an event can go on.
Wonderful, and I'm sure crazy busy. It's kind of a big deal
It
out here.
Deal.
It's
it
wonderful.
Is a big deal, and it's something that we're very proud of in Anoka.
Excellent. So is there one thing, if there was one thing that you could tell people about Anoka Halloween, what would it be?
Well, that it's a joint venture between the City of Anoka and Anoka Halloween Inc. I think people often confuse or think that we're one group of people working to provide this great event throughout the month of October. It takes hundreds of volunteers within Anoka Halloween Inc. It takes lots of sponsors from the community It takes a lot of support from the city of Anoka, from the police department, from the fire department, and all of our services. So there are a lot of hands working together to make this a fantastic month.
Excellent. Is there anything in particular with this year's Anoka Halloween that you're looking forward to or that you'd recommend for our viewers?
Well, I think anyone that hasn't been to the Grand Day Parade, the weather's supposed to be beautiful. It's a fantastic event. It's, I think, one of the longest parades that has a number of units. So it's a good way to spend, the afternoon with your family and your friends. A lot of the activities at this point of Halloween, we're kind of wrapping things up, but take a look at this year's calendar, and a lot of those activities will be occurring next year in October. So, and then there's always new stuff.
Excellent, excellent. And if you can't make the parade, we will be covering that on QCTV. We'll be down there with you guys as well. It's going to be a really fun time. I'm very, very excited.
It's supposed to be 60, I think, degrees on Saturday.
I know.
So
it's going to be the
good.
perfect day, much better than today. So as now that we're in fall, heading into winter, unfortunately, what can residents do to help you at the city do your jobs more efficiently?
Well, I think one of the things that people forget is that, we might be paid to plow your snow, plow your streets, plow the sidewalks, and do those kinds of things, but, we are people too. We have homes in your neighborhood and other people's neighborhoods. Snow has to go somewhere. So what people can do for us is, mark the back of your curb line, mark the sidewalk edges, especially if there's a jog or not a straight line through your property. Give our operators a clue as to where the corners are at the end of your street. Not all of our streets are the same width. Not all of our streets have the same type of curb. So while we do have talented people, it is, a little bit of help from the community goes a long way. Something to remember too is that we assist with sidewalk snow removal, but it is up to the homeowner or the adjacent property owner really to clear their sidewalk, but we will come in and help obviously when there's a big snow. And it's, it's not personal if you've just got done plowing your driveway and you come through. Like it's just, it happens to all of us, and it is something that it's part of living in Minnesota, and it's part of winter.
Yep. And I know that everyone's so appreciative, especially in the winter, of all the work you do. I mean, everyone knows that just going down one street that isn't plowed is such a huge pain, and you guys have it down to a science. It's really wonderful.
Well, and we try to come in as early as we can. Usually 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. in the morning, our crews are here, and we work until the streets are clear. We don't go home. Sometimes it requires 2-3 days in a row. Yeah. And then we come back through and we do cleanup, and we haul the snow away from downtown so that the shop owners have easy access from the streets and into their shops. So we really do try to support the community that way, and we really do try to do our best every snowfall. We don't want to leave an area unplowed or uncleared. So if there is something like that occurs, please call us and let us know that something got missed.
And you mentioned a call. Is there a specific number or department that they should be reaching out to?
Yeah, Public Services Department. We are located in City Hall. Our general number 763-576-2980. Our staff mans those phones 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, and they get those messages out to the drivers and out to their coordinators so that we can go back and catch up in an area if we miss something.
Great. Well, again, thank you for all you do with that. I know that it is very much appreciated. I want to ask you, we're leading into a package here about a great new event that you helped out with, Small People, Big Trucks. Can you tell us about that event? I heard it was a great success.
It's the first time we've ever offered that event here in Anoka. We held it last Thursday during MEA weekend, so we hoped that it would provide an opportunity for people that had kids that were home from school or home from daycare to give them a break in their day over the lunch hour to come out and crawl around in our fire truck, police vehicles. We had lots of public services vehicles there. I think we had about 200 kids that came out with their parents, and I think it was as much fun for the adults as it was for the kids.
I'm sure that sounds just awesome. It's great to do. It's such a huge success.
I'm sure the package that you're going to show is going to kind of highlight the horns. They were a big hit.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, you heard it here first. Small People, Big Trucks. Billy Austin was there to catch that story. So let's take a look.
Over the long NBA weekend, the city of Anoka hosted the very first Small People, Big Trucks event right in the parking lot of Castle Field, where children of all ages got to climb, interact, and take a seat in some of the largest vehicles that are used daily throughout the city of Anoka. We met up with Recreation Manager Nikki Jenks and some of the local kids who stopped by to learn more about who's involved and ask the question, what is it with small kids' fascination with big trucks?
Today we have our Small People Big Trucks event. The City of Anoka is putting it on and partnering with all the city entities, fire department, the police department, our electric department, water, sewer, public services. Everyone's present today. First annual, and we just really wanted to show off our cool vehicles that we have in the city and everyone that's involved to make the city work and function.
And what's your favorite vehicle so far, Isaac?
The big truck.
How come?
Because it has the big bucket. The fire truck. Well, because they have fun things inside, and maybe you could honk it, and then you could see them put out fires. My favorite is probably the SWAT vehicle because it's just so fun. Like, it looks so cool, and it's so high up that you just get scared and you don't want to go on it, and it's so fun. I'm the same with her because I went in there, and so you get to go up in that little thing, and it's kind of like a watchtower, and then you can sit in the back. And then I like the fire truck because they put up the ladder, and I didn't know they were that high.
Why do little people like big trucks, do you think?
Probably because they're fun. Because I think that they're just so fun to look at, and how they move and how they're made and stuff. Yeah, I think little kids kind of like the buttons and the horns. They kind of doing the horns, looking at the buttons.
They're just bigger than them. I mean, I think adults are fascinated by them too. You see them doing some cool work, and they're huge.
And with an impressive turnout for this first annual event, it certainly seems that this fascination holds true. To learn more about future events like this and everything else going on in the city of Anoka, go to www.anokaminnesota.com.
Our next guest, Vicki Violet, is a member of the Waste Reduction and Recycling Board, and she's joining us now. Thank you so much for being here today, Vicki. I love your cat ears. I love your hair. It's wonderful.
I have to get in character here. It's part of my brand. It's part of it. Yeah.
It is. It's very on brand.
Thank
it's
you.
Lovely. So give us some background about the Waste Reduction and Recycling Board. What's the function of the board, and what's your mission?
Sure. So the Waste Reduction and Recycling Board is just like it sounds. It's to help the city of Anoka reduce our waste and to recycle or upcycle. Upcycling is probably one of our the programs that we're moving into, along with composting. So that really is our mission, is how to recycle, how to get the information out to the Anoka residents, and promote recycling and upcycling.
Wonderful. And so for those who may not know, what is upcycling?
Upcycling, well, for instance, if you have an object and someone else can use it within the community and you can give it away for free. There's a lot of free sites on the Facebook or on other social media, and that would be upcycling.
So that's just anything then that could be just used as is.
Used as is, and not shredded or anything else, but reused.
Wonderful. That's a great way to reduce the waste in our community.
Correct,
It's always good.
Yeah.
And I can see by your jacket there, you're also involved in the Lions Club in Anoka. Tell us a little bit about the Lions and what they do.
Okay, thank you. Putting on my other set of ears, my hat. So the Anoka Lions have been in the community since the 50s, and we are really active. Of course, our core missions are vision, diabetes, environment, hunger, youth, all of which we support within our community and beyond.
And where can people get more information on the Lions if they're interested in joining, or?
We have a Facebook site, and it's very active. I post on there regularly. We also have Instagram. So if you just go on any of the social media and look for Anoka Lions, it should come up, and
that would go right to me, and I will immediately contact you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I heard you're having a tent party. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
We are. So this tent has been up now for about a week. We had the Fright Night, which was the 5th through 8th graders that were there Friday night, and then we had the all-class reunion there Saturday night. Now this Friday night we have a new band, Show Me Your Hits. They're opening at 7 o'clock for Arch Allies, and Arch Allies was great. We had them here 2 years ago, and that will be fantastic. It's $15 cover charge to get in on Friday night, and then Saturday night we have an opening band called Distant Edge. We've had them here a couple times, and Johnny Holmes, who is a legend in Anoka. He's been here, I think, almost 30 years on Halloween. Yeah.
Wow.
With almost without interruption.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Is what are you looking forward to most? If you had to pick.
Oh my gosh. Well, we have the costume contest, hence the ears. So we have the costume contest on Saturday night, and the costumes are outrageous. We so enjoy watching the people come through the door with these incredible costumes. We have people come from a long ways away. We have a huge prize of $500 for first, and $200 for second, $100 for third. We have KS95 Hutch from the Drive Show. He'll be here. They'll be handing out prizes from KS95. They have gift cards and stuff like that.
Wow.
So Saturday night, about midnight, is when all the really bewitching stuff starts.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That sounds really fun.
Yeah, thank you.
So I've got to ask then, what's either the favorite costume that you've seen at the event, or one that you've done yourself that was your favorite?
Oh my gosh, there's a lot of them that light up. And those are kind of cool because the tent is dark except for the band, and you can see all these people coming through with lights. So anything that lit up is immediately an eye catcher.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's good advice. If
Yeah.
people are after that $500,
Yeah,
lights never hurt.
yeah, exactly.
Very cool. And so Halloween course this weekend. Once Halloween is over, there's also a couple events coming up I'd like to ask you about. A pumpkin smash and a book upcycle. Can you tell us about those?
Yeah, so the pumpkin smash is Monday, November 1st. So right after, you can go ahead and clean off all your pumpkins. And we have a big dumpster. It'll be at Rick Sorensen Park, which is on State Avenue, right behind the Anoka American Legion on West Main. So you just go there between 4 and 7 o'clock Monday night, bring your pumpkins. We have a big dumpster, usually have a ladder or something to climb up so you can smash the pumpkin in there. And that leads into our composting program, which the Waste Reduction and Recycling Board is now moving forward with identifying a composting site. So we're bringing composting to Anoka.
So first of all, that sounds like a really great way to get out some of your Monday frustrations.
Absolutely, 100%.
And it's a great way to learn about composting. Can you tell us about why specifically composting is so important to our community?
Well, again, it takes it out of our landfills. And also then there is a resource then to put it back into home gardens or planters, or, so it is in effect recycling.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And there's also the book upcycle coming up as well. Can you tell us about that?
So that again is upcycling, where we're not shredding it, we're not destroying the product, we're just moving it from your house to my house. And for instance, I have a little free library, and that's how I upcycle books. So I'll be there, probably elbows out, trying to get the best books so I can put it in my little free library.
Great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And is there any specific information people should know about donating, or any condition requirements for that, or?
No, you can come and just take as many books as you'd like, as many books as you think you can read or share, or put in your own little free library.
And that's really wonderful. It's a great way to of course, recycling and upcycling is so important, but also getting people into reading and exploring and finding new books and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Wonderful. It sounds like a great event.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And my husband is an avid book collector and reader, so he says, yeah, he'll be there right at 4 o'clock.
I love collecting books too, but you always find out though, you fill up that space really fast.
Yes,
so it's great to have a place where you can, that they'll be used, it'll be in good hands, and that you're just keeping it in the community.
Yeah,
wonderful. That's very great. Well, Vicki, thank you so much for being here
Thank
today.
you.
You're our last guest, so we're going to wrap up the show.
Okay, thank you.
I'd like to thank Vicki and all of our guests here today for being on Live and Local. We had such a great time. For more information, please visit the City of Anoka's website. And for more stories on Anoka every week, check out the Post on Wednesdays at 2 o'clock, as well as all of our content, including this show, online on demand at qctv.org. Thank you again for joining us today, and thank you for watching QCTV.